Hey there, folks. What's going on? This is Douglas. Appreciate you cracking this video. Coming to you out of my home office here in Houston, Texas. And as every now and then, I like to just bring some transparency, make some introductions, and definitely to some people that are brand new to our community that like to do this, just to bring more value, because that's what we use this Facebook community and many of our other communities for. And that is just to bring value, bring content and transparency to people that are coming in, because we understand that social media is about know, like, and trust. And by whomever invited you, definitely want to get back in contact with that person, if you want to get more details and get a live overview. But a couple of things I want to go into and who this is going to be for. So I typically just select random people that have come, random friends that have come into the community, maybe over the last month and a half or so. And so today, even though your name may not be mentioned if you're opening this, any name can be used. This could be for you, anyone you've invited to this community, so you can just replace the names that I'm going to use specifically and just think of this as your name as well, or your partners as well. And this community is open. It is a private community because we don't want to allow any other solicitation of any other platform or concept, because we like to keep everything about what we're doing with this cooperative financial fintech enterprise. And so we don't allow any other solicitation of any business. Okay, so we keep this as a safe place. So you're more than welcome to invite your team members, your colleagues, your business associates, family, friends, those that you want to care about and want to get successful with, because we have something pretty special here that is a solution. We don't consider ourselves a biz op or any type of business opportunity or home-based business or whatnot, even though we do work from the home. But this gives us the opportunity to be our own bank. Okay, now we're not a bank, but we behave and receive income, okay, much like banks do. Okay, so now we'll get deep in the weeds with that. What I want to go over today is really having people to understand network effect, okay? And because our operation sometimes gets garbled up and gumboed up with other projects, okay, that we may be familiar with, that may have led to a lot of trepidation, a lot of disdain, and there's a narrative out there in the people-to-people space, just for people that just may not be fully aware, okay? And what a network effect is, I'll go into it, but I want to specifically mention, so if you're Lee Smith, okay, I'll be mentioning you in this video, Joyce Anderson and Juliana Nicholas, I'll be mentioning you guys specifically. So welcome to our community. You're more than welcome to, look around, take a tour. No one's under any obligation to stay. You can leave anytime you want. Because we're that community where we're looking for strategic partnerships that see what we have here and want to lock arms and join us, okay? And we all mutually benefit together with this being a cooperative, okay? So having said that, let me go to my board here, because one of the things I just want to highlight before we get into the weeds of a network effect is that, folks, great companies are system dependent. Good companies are people dependent. Let me say that the other way around. Good companies are people dependent, okay? Where typically is driven by skill set, by talent, and by performance, okay? But those are only good companies. Typically, it's always requiring hands-on to that business, where if you are not, performing, in that business, then your business really doesn't drive or thrive without you, okay? That's not what we're looking to have people partner up with us here. This is literally designed to be a business that is thriving and scaling and operating, okay, without you, okay, being involved. Okay? We're only talking about everybody doing a one-time execution, and because of the cooperative payout, it's an income escalator, the AI that's working behind everything, okay, circulating the funds, so to speak. This is really designed to it be a set it and forget it. Everyone only required to do something one time, okay? So we have systematized the process Because what we understand in the people-to-people space, one of the major roadblocks, one of the major hurdles is the peaking and introductory of whatever the said business. Typically, you're required to dredge up a sales script or a sales pitch. Now, if you're great at inviting, verbally on the phone or, in person, face to face, whatever the case may be, utilize that. But what we want to do, folks, we want to create a system much like McDonald's. If you ask yourself, how is it that teenagers, 16, 15, 18, 17 years old, can run a multi-million-dollar franchise, the drive-through? Because, folks, they have a rinse and repeat system to where all they have to do is plug people in and they operate the system. The system is generating the multi-millions of dollars, okay, year after year after year, okay, never needing the owners, okay, to be hands-on inside of the franchise. Why? Because they have a rinse and repeat system that's duplicatable no matter who, okay, plugs in. That's when you're going to have a system. That's when you have a business and also have an income thriving without you having to be so hands-on. So if you think about McDonald's, there's an ordering intercom that people go to, and then they go to the pay window, and then what? Then they go pick up their food. And the next car is at the ordering window, then they pay, then they pick up their food. The next car, ordering, paying, pick up. Ordering, paying, pick up. Think about Uber. Uber's another operation that runs by a system. A person types in their coordinates in their smartphone, okay, on the app. Then the car picks them up, and then it gets them to their destination, and Uber makes money over and over and over again through a rinse and repeat system. So what do you think we put in place? Rinse and repeat, okay? So in our rinse and repeat system, we create like a 90-second sizzle. It's not to give any in-depth information. It's just enough to make a great introduction of strategic partnership that is sent by the person that's inviting them, okay, to ultimately arranging them to get to a press play overview where the founder and CEO shares a 30, 35-minute presentation, and then, folks, we get onboarded. Now, this rinse and repeat system with this particular platform, folks, it is game-changing because of the income escalator, okay? I come from the industry of network marketing. I cut my teeth in the industry over 18 years. But let me tell you, it has a 0.4% success rate. Simply meaning, okay, you really have to get to the top, and it wasn't really conducive for masses to win. So it wasn't really a financial solution, although I have many friends that are still involved that are multimillionaires, okay? And I've rubbed elbows with them and everything, but the statistics still remain, is that it's only a handful that really have breakthrough success, okay, to where it can, be life-changing or where it can be significant to maybe offsetting some of your residual bills and living expenses that we have month to month to month, okay? But here, ladies and gentlemen, with our income escalator and this thing being a network effect, okay, you're going to see that we're all just doing a little that's going to have us all collectively receiving a lot, okay? So our income escalator works simply like this. So let's say, for instance, you have myself, okay? Or let's just say the person that invited you. Now, something else I'm going to point out here that's very significant, but I'll get to that in a second here. So let's say, okay, whoever invited Lee Smith. So they invited Lee Smith. So what they did is that they sent Lee Smith, they either invited them or sent them the 90-second sizzle that piques their interest. Then Lee Smith wanted to arrange and get to a press play presentation where the founder does all the, sharing and explaining of our operation. Understand, your inviter hasn't really done anything. They just sent you a sizzle. Then they arranged you to get it to a press play. This press play presentation is in everyone's back office. So all you have to do is set up a Zoom or co-host a Zoom with your business partner that's already involved in the business, and you guys can do a co-hosting press play for Lee Smith in this example. And then Lee Smith says, I'm on board. We get them onboarded with a done for you with one of our certified onboarders. They give you the white glove treatment. And when Lee Smith gets connected to the technology, watch what happens. Money instantly goes to the person that invited Lee Smith. But not only did money go to Lee Smith, see, this is the ingenious part of this, folks, is that it's going to be concurrent success at all times. See, our automation, when Lee Smith connected, understand the only person that invited Lee Smith was their inviter, right? But guess what? Everybody that was in line previously also scaled in residual income, folks, independent of their involvement, because they had nothing to do with the connection, with the introduction of, of a sizzle or arranging a press play or getting Lee Smith onboarded. It was all being done by the invitation of Lee Smith's inviter. But not only did Lee Smith receive, not only did the inviter of Lee Smith receive, everybody else just scaled. Powerful. Now watch this. Let's say Lee Smith was inviting Joyce Anderson. Okay, what did Lee Smith do? Sent Joyce a sizzle presentation, 90 seconds to make an introduction, systematizing the business. Okay, not Lee Smith having to dredge up a sales script, not Lee Smith having to dredge up a sales pitch, letting the 90-second sizzle do it for you. And then if it piques Joyce's, if it piques her interest, she wants to get more information, we set her up. We like to show people that we have a rinse and repeat system. Why? Because, folks, all you got to focus on is running the system, and the system does everything for us. And we're letting you see how we all cooperatively scale together, again, with everybody doing a little, all collectively scaling to receive a lot. That is the nature of a cooperative, which I'm going to go over here in a second. So Joyce gets connected to the technology, okay? And when Joyce connects, instantly, watch this, Lee Smith receives in residual deposits, and guess what? So does Lee Smith's inviter, who had nothing to do with the connection of Joyce. Now Joyce is going to rinse and repeat the system. Let's say she's inviting Juliana, right? So Juliana, okay, got, had her interest peaked, got arranged to see a press play overview, then got onboarded, got connected to the technology, and look what took place. Joyce, who invited Juliana, instantly received. But not only did Joyce receive from this connection, so did Lee Smith. But did Lee Smith invite Juliana? No. The inviter also scaled, but did they invite Juliana? No, they didn't. Let's say Juliana, she invited this person named Doug, right? Doug gets connected to the technology, rinse and repeat. What happens when Doug connects? Juliana receives, Joyce scales, Lee Smith scales, inviter scales. Folks, do you see everyone succeeding here? See, this is not a Ponzi, folks. See, a Ponzi has to do with a ROI, a return on investment that gets promised or hyped up or through a trust relationship. So it's basically new investors, okay, that come in just so old investors can get paid off because they were promised a return on investment. Folks, this is revenue sharing, okay, because we are coming on board as prosumer cooperative participant members. And when you are a prosumer, you're receiving in the revenue sharing of the operation. There is no IRR. But what are you seeing? Are you seeing a predictable payout income that's just scaling the inviter of Lee Smith? Or are you seeing Lee Smith scale without doing any more work? And Joyce scaling without doing any more work? and Juliana just receiving, but let's say Doug invited Valencia, or, well, let's say Mario, my good friend Mario that's out there in the UK. Now understand, Juliana, Joyce, Lee Smith's inviter, they may not know who Mario is, but Doug invited because he says, hey Mario, I found an operation where we can be our own bank and scaling residual income as being prosumers. He's gonna probably say, well, yeah, tell me more, Doug. So I'm not gonna be the one sharing the information. I'm gonna say, hey, the protocol here at Mario, we have a system in place, a rinse and repeat system that anyone can just connect the system. We run the system and we let the system do the rinse and repeat, and we continuously scale the residual income by bringing on other prosumers. We're not just bringing on individuals, guys. We're bringing on different corporations, different lending institutions, fundraising organizations, nonprofits, churches, charities, fraternities, sororities, the whole bit, okay? Because everyone's in desire of more residual cash flow, but understand the cooperative nature, okay? Now, Mario gets connected. First he had his interest peak, then it got arranged to see a press play, then he became onboarded, okay? And then look what happened. Doug received, but guess what? Juliana scales, Joyce scales, Lee Smith scales, inviter scales, folks. And please understand, all these monies, okay, coming to the inviter, they're coming on a residual basis. All these monies coming to Lee Smith, even as it's scaling, comes on a residual basis. All these monies come to Joyce residually, meaning month after month after month. Even as her income is scaling, the monies that she's already received are going to be coming on a residual basis. So folks, we're scaling in residual deposits that are becoming to us month after month after month. But here's the beauty of this, okay? Watch this. Let me erase this here real quick. What I love about this cooperative is that you haven't heard me go back to anybody to do any more work, have you? How many times did the inviter, okay, invite anyone to connect? One time, folks. How many times did Lee Smith invite anyone to connect? One time. How many times did Joyce invite her partners to connect? Once. How many times did Juliana invite anyone to connect? Once. How many times did Doug invite anyone to connect? One time. And look what's happening all along the way. Mario, okay, he has a good friend by the name of Annie. Okay? Annie is out in New Zealand. Doug don't know anybody in New Zealand. Well, he knows now because he knows Annie, and he also knows Carol, okay, who's also out there. And look what happens when Annie, okay, of course, Mario sent her a sizzle, then arranged Annie to see an overview presentation, and then Annie got connected with our Done For You certified onboarders, and look what took place. Everyone scaled, okay, and no one knew Annie but Mario. Folks, this is the power of a cooperative. And so I want to inoculate any thinking of a Ponzi or pyramid scheme, folks. We're not that. But just to go a little deeper here. So I'm going to come back to this, but I just want to sort of lay the foundation of this video so you guys can see what we have our hands on. Now, again, being in the MLM space for as long as I have, okay, I'm not coming to you from a point of theory. I'm coming from a point of, I know, folks. So no matter what smoke and mirrors people want to put out there, no matter what hype, that may be put out there, and I'm not saying everybody's hyping. Some people are having great success. But I do know statistically, it is a very, very low percentage of success rate, okay? Here's the reason being why people's downline fail and quit. Are y'all ready for this? Because the upline did not receive instantly. Let me say that again. Don't miss this. The reason why people's downline quits, because the upline did not receive instantly. Let me ask you a question. See, Lee Smith was in the organization of the inviter. When Lee Smith connected, how soon did the inviter of Lee Smith receive? Instantly. Now, Lee Smith invited Joyce. So Joyce is in not only Lee Smith's organization, but also the inviter's organization. When Joyce connected, how instant did Lee Smith and Lee Smith's inviter, scale and residual deposits? Instantly. Are you guys understanding the dynamic of the chitter chatter that's going on? Because when Joyce connected, well, let's go back. When Lee Smith connected, she noticed that her inviter instantly received. Lee Smith's belief went through the roof. Why? Because the result happened right away. Now watch this. Watch it go double through the roof, because when Lee Smith invited Joyce, Joyce is in not only Lee Smith's organization, but also Lee Smith's inviter. When Joyce connected, how quickly did Lee Smith receive? Instantly. But not only that, because everyone that's in line previously continues to receive, because it's concurrent success. That's what an income escalator does, folks. We just get on it, have others get on it. We just get on. Everyone's executing this one-time activity, a one-time investment of labor, of just inviting 3 to connect, because success is a straight success line, because of how the revenue is circulated and paid out. This is why everyone's don't have to do this one-time execution, but with this cooperative environment, everyone's doing a little. That's going to collectively have everyone scale concurrently. See, Doug, if he scales, so will Juliana rather. So will Joyce, so will Lee Smith, so will the inviter, and all those in line previously. When Mario scales, so will Doug. So will Juliana, every single time. So will Joy every single time. So will Lee Smith every single time. So will the inviter every single time. That's what concurrent success means, folks. Because that's how it's built. That's how it's been embedded into the technology to function this way. So now you're looking at an operation with no guesswork, no maybes, that as we replicate and duplicate, utilizing this rinse and repeat system, that we just continue to rinse and repeat, and our partners just duplicate and teach the same. They say those who teach those to teach end up going to the beach. I think I said that wrong, but you guys get what I'm saying, right? So anyway, let me share my screen, okay? So really want to get into this focus of this narrative here that really trips up a lot of us, okay? Now, let me go here too, because guys, I understand, I'm in the industry, so I want you guys to see there's a website called Tech Mystery. Now, again, this is not to put down anybody that's doing MLM, okay? Again, I cut my teeth in the industry. It did a lot for my family. I became free with network marketing. But one thing I understand, it is not conducive, okay, for the little guy and the big guy and everybody in between. It just isn't. And because there's certain dynamics in terms of quotas that we always have to qualify for, certain ranks and pin levels that we always have to hit, certain sales quotas, recruitment quotas, and all that, just so we can have ongoing, sustainable, predictable, concurrent success, right? And because since it's always subject to saturation, okay, because there's only so much of the service or whatever the service is before everybody has it. It's only so much of the juice or the lotion or the potion or the shake before everybody has it. Then what we have to do, okay? So it's always subject to saturation. That's why you see even leaders, go through what I call the company loop. okay? Where it's like we pump up one company, and then once we're not making that income anymore, it gets dumped. Folks, with this operation, okay, because we are in the digital landscape, we're never subject to saturation. And think about it, our product is residual, scalable residual cash flow. And when you think about an escalator, let me just jump here real quick. When you think about an escalator, okay, I want you to really right now visualize an escalator. Visualize an escalator in the mall, a ascending escalator, okay? How many times are you able to ride up this escalator? How many times is Lee Smith's inviter able to go up this escalator? As many times as they want. How many times can Lee Smith go up this escalator? As many times as they want. How many times can Joyce? How many times can Juliana? Folks, it's an unlimited amount of times that we can go up the income escalator. What am I stating? It's not subject to saturation. Folks, you can't saturate the digital space, and you're not able to saturate money, folks. Okay? Math and numbers can never be saturated. All math does is just repeat itself. It ends and then starts again. If you ever think about it, what is 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, 110, 120? What is that? If you ever thought about it. Do you know all that is? It's just 0 through 9 being repeated over and over and over and over and over and over. See, numbers just start over, folks. So it creates, we have an infinity income model where there's no ending and there's no beginning. It's just continuous. We call it a Morbius loop. And all this thing continues to do is just grow because of the network effect component, okay, that I'm gonna share with you here. Okay, it's just a phenomenon whereby as the participation, okay, of that service or product increases, the value of it increases, but that value just doesn't benefit one person. If the value of something increases, it's increasing for all. But there's something else also increasing as the participation increases. I mean, think about Uber. Think about Amazon. Think about Apple. Think about whatever you can think about. Netflix, okay? PayPal, Cash App, okay? Whatever the value and the revenue was when it was just 100 people with Cash App, it was not the same value and revenue when 1,000 people have Cash App, Venmo, PayPal, or Uber, or when tens of thousands have PayPal, Cash App, Venmo, or Uber, or Netflix, or when hundreds of thousands have Cash App, Venmo, Net. What is that doing? It's expanding, increasing the value, but it's also doing what? Increasing and expanding the revenue. But typically in a top-down pyramid centralized company, the revenue is only going to who? Those at the top. Folks, we're revenue sharing prosumers here. So as the network effect, what's the network effect? The participation increases. Who's dictating the participation? Our one-time rinse and repeat system that we're having everybody go through. And as the network expands, so does the revenue of everyone expands. Does the revenue just expand for Lee Smith's inviter? No. Does it just expand for Lee Smith and not Joyce? No. Does it just expand for Joyce, Lee Smith, and the inviter and not Juliana? No. How about Doug? No. How about Mario? No. How about Annie? No. Who does it expand for? Everybody. Everybody. And all we have to do is run a rinse and repeat system, piquing everyone's interest, arranging them, seeing the presentation, getting them onboarded. And as we connect to the technology, everyone's inviter, which some know the translation, upline, receives how soon? Instantly. And folks, if it wasn't working as advertised, that means Douglas Ford is lying. I want you to think about that. Folks, it's either I'm lying or it performs as advertised. Okay? So, with that being said, let me share my screen. I'm really giving you everything that I really want to get into, but I want to just really inoculate Ponzi, all right? Really want to do that because don't gumbo us in. Just because you're hearing the similarities, because you're hearing Ponzi, people were getting involved. But folks, it's the dynamics of the understanding that a Ponzi is this. I put this thing in plain English. Now, take a screenshot of this because I did cover some other information that's very important and pertinent. But I really want to go right here, okay? Ponzi scheme has investors who are promised, watch this, an ROI, folks. There's no ROI promised with a network effect. What is promised to with a network effect to prosumers is that as we go out there and expand the network, we participate in the revenue sharing. And when you're in the revenue sharing position, folks, you're receiving as you're being in the front of the line versus being at the back of the line. Many people are more familiar with this term called profit sharing. Profit sharing is paid out to those who are at the back of the line set up for profit sharing. That's even if they cut you a check for profit sharing. But it's what's left over after they pay expenses. I'm giving you business 101 here. But think about it. When you are the revenue, what's the revenue? The revenue is any transaction coming through the front door. So when you think about McDonald's, when any of their franchises sells a Big Mac, chicken nugget, a drink, a filet of fish, a McRib, whatever, that's revenue. See, when you're in the revenue sharing position, folks, you're receiving in the front end. And guess who dictates the scale of the revenue sharing here with this operation? We do, folks. So understand, a Ponzi scheme has investors because we're not investing any money. We're connected to the technology, okay? And as those transactions are taking place, okay, it's circulating that revenue, okay, predictably to those in our success line, okay? So this is not a return on investment. There is no promise of a percentage. There's no promise of a percentage weekly or percentage daily. We're not that operation, folks. See, that thing is typically operating by being hyped or promised something. And watch this, only early investors get something. But it's a ruse from the beginning. See, it was already set up to what? To scam you. Here's the unfortunate thing. You were probably referred by a close friend, a trusted friend. And so that creates trepidation. And when you hear maybe something that sounds similar, what we have the proclivity to do is gumbo it with this thing here. Ladies and gentlemen, we're not that. Okay? This is a network effect, okay? But understand, in a Ponzi, there is no public utility. There is no 100% mutual benefit. There is no predictability. There is no mathematical certainty. There is no concurrent success at all times. And there is no immediate instant payout to all at all times. There's not, folks. Okay? So, let me just give you the incomes here. So, let me give you the breakdown of what takes place. Okay? Basically, every single time a Mosca digital asset is acquired, connected, 10 revenue sharing owners, member owners, instantly receive a monthly residual deposit. 4 member owners, revenue sharing owners, instantly receive $25 global connection bonuses. 2 member owners, revenue sharing owners, instantly receive 0.25% transaction fee commissions, folks. Watch this. The value of the global network instantly increases for all members as revenue sharing owners. Folks, as participation increases, so does everybody's residual income increase all along the way. Because see, when you are on an income escalator, okay, why are people getting on an ascending escalator? Because they see the results of it all along the way. See, you're going up on automation without lifting your feet or bending your knees. Why else would we get on an income escalator or get on an escalator, an ascending escalator? I mean, if we wanted to take the stairs, we would take the stairs. Folks, this is an escalator. So watch this. You're going to activate your wallet with our certified onboarder and connect 3 others one time to unlock automated income. Your inviter scales the second you go active. So everyone's going to be inviting 3 to connect. That's the one-time action everyone's doing. But please allow me to share this with you because I don't want you to think that, well, somebody may ask, well, what if somebody doesn't do it? And will I not start receiving until I have all 3 connected? Let me answer that this way. First off, as an entrepreneur, folks, right, entrepreneur doesn't start a business with what if somebody doesn't do it, right? You don't start at McDonald's and say, well, what if somebody doesn't buy the fry or buy the Big Mac? Okay? No. You're like, I'm going to run the system until I have buyers. Because you do have buyers that get through the drive-through, and even though they go through the system, they may not want to be involved. What do? You keep running the system. Okay? So, but I want to show you this. This is very, very important here. So let's say when you connect, of course, you know when you connected, your inviter instantly received, right? They instantly had a residual deposit plus a connection bonus plus transaction fee commissions also went to them, just with you connecting. But watch this. So you are having, to connect 3. So your first partner, you're going to pique their interest, arrange them to a press play overview. Then they get on board and connected. Partner 1 connects. What takes place? Instantly to you and instantly your inviter. The reason why people's downlines quit, because their upline did not receive instantly. And the reason why people's downlines quit, because the upline did not only just receive instantly, they were not receiving concurrently. Why is that important? Because belief happens when people receive the result. But I want you to see, so understand, you haven't even invited your partner 2 or your partner 3 yet. And look, when partner 1 connected, look what instantly happened. Now, this may happen too. So partner 1 says, oh, well, I can go faster than you. And guess what? Partner 1, they invite their partner 1. And guess what happens? Remember, you don't even have your partner 2 and 3. So this is what's going to happen. Partner 1 is going to receive, you're going to scale 2, and so are your inviter. Even while you're still, okay, connecting your 3 partners to the technology. Okay? But let's just stay with where I was. I just want to show you that as a demonstration. Okay? So, now, when partner 2 connects, because they go through the rinse and repeat system, what's going to happen? Money to you, money to the inviter. When partner 3 connects, what's going to happen? Money to you, money to the inviter. Folks, you are done. Yeah. This is all that's required for anybody to do, to connect 3 to the technology One time. Okay. Now, do we have some people doing more? Yes, and you'll be compelled to do so. But I just want you to see the behavior of this. So when I show you how the money is unfolding, there are monies that you're receiving in between the amounts as you're going up the income escalator. But what we want you to see, as these connections were connecting, they were invited by you. It wasn't just having you receive, but your inviter was scaling, their inviter was scaling, their inviter was scaling, their inviter was scaling, their inviter was scaling. So folks, when I share with people, since I've been involved with this operation, I've had well over 30,000 deposits that have been coming to me. Folks, I received deposits many times, multiple times throughout the days, okay? Throughout the hours of the day and throughout the days of the week. And they're not only just coming as cash accumulation, this is deposits coming to me, but understand, as deposits are not just coming to me, they're coming to all those in our organization in the success line. As you saw me read, when one connects, 10 are receiving. Okay? So let's get back to sharing this. So there again, I say, even though I'm using Lee Smith, Joyce Anderson, and Juliana Nicholas, okay? Guys, you can just replace their names and just utilize you and your partner's names. If you want to tag some people and invite people to our community, again, it's an open community. But there again, we don't allow any other solicitation because we want to keep this a safe place for you, because we know people are leveraging social media. We leverage the tools in social media in terms of coming together as a global community. And you can allow a person like me who really knows the ins and outs and things of that nature, where you, okay, can have a business thriving and going globally all over the world, okay? And we systematize this thing, okay? So we understand this right here. So let's move forward. So you're going to activate your wallet with our certified onboarder and connect 3 others one time to unlock automated income. Your inviter scales the second you go active. Okay? So as your 3 partners connect, watch this. It's bringing you $32 in residual income, okay, plus $75 in connection bonuses from those 3 connections that you invited, bringing you a total of $107, okay? Now, we're speaking on this in a theoretical to mathematical certainty, no guesswork, no maybes. Let me say it again. No guesswork, no maybes. We're literally giving you the raw numbers and how this thing behaves all along the way, how this income escalator performs. But it's just not going to be for you. But all you're going to hear me speak about is just everybody duplicating what you have just done one time. And we're doing what? Rinse and repeat. Everybody's going to receive a sizzle presentation or be invited by, directly by your inviter or whatever. Then they're going to arrange to be to a press play, and then the onboarding. So folks, look, your partners, so when you have done that, in this example, you are done. No more sweat equity work for you. Now your partners are doing the same thing one time as well. They're going to receive in the same way. They receive $32 in residual income and $75 connect bonuses. Guess what? They're done. But look what was happening to you as they were scaling an income from the connections that they invited. It scaled you to 38 coming residually, and you received another $225 in connection bonus, and you had nothing to do with those connections. It just took you up the income escalator. Now, that brings another $231 to your self-custody wallet. Folks, this is money that you have the ability to access 7 days a week, 365 days a year. So now, your partners, they're doing the exact same one time. They're done. But look what it does to the people that invited them and to you concurrently. Folks, it scales you again. You're at 71 residually, but so are your partners. They've scaled to 38, just like you were, okay, a day before. So we're giving this theoretical as everyone's doing this in a day. Now, we're able to go as fast or as slow because we dictate the velocity and speed of how fast we want to travel. So that brings another $708 directly deposited to your self-custody wallet. It brought your partners $231. And their partners that they invited, they just have done their one-time execution. But are you seeing everyone's doing a little, and it's collectively scaling everyone to receive a lot every single time all along the way? See, we're all scaling and receiving all along the way. So look at this. Day 4. These guys are the same. Rinse and repeat. These people invited them. They invited their partners. They sent them a sizzle presentation. They did a press play. Then they got them onboarded. And look what happens. They're done. As they received, look what it did to everybody else in line previously. Ladies and gentlemen, Lee, Joyce, Juliana, and if you're not any one of those people, speaking to you, are you seeing everyone predictably receive, okay, and scale? And I haven't gone back to anybody previously to do any more work. So the person that invited you to this community, folks, really want you to understand what we have our hands on and how this thing behaves, okay? This is a cooperative. This is a network effect, okay? And so if it wasn't transpiring as I'm sharing it, ladies and gentlemen, then I am a liar. And guess what? There's no one that's been able to say since they've partnered up with me that it hasn't functioned as advertised. Because if it did not, folks, you would not be in this community, if that makes sense. And so look at you seeing here. Look, 4 days in, it has brought you another $2,126, bringing you in 4 days to $3,172. And all you or anyone has done is just rinse and repeat to 3 partners one time. And they're seeing the results all along the way too. Because the reason why of course, we don't like to use the reference downline, but I know it's a universal terminology verbiage out there, downline and upline, okay? I don't like the term downline. I always think if you want somebody under you, go to a graveyard. We call it a success line. But since I know many people have the terminology of downline, the reason why downlines fail is because of this. 2 reasons. One, there's no rinse and repeat system that anyone that can fog up a mirror can do. See, there's nobody that cannot do this. So I say, if you invite someone and they're not wanting to run a system, because understand this, I don't care what a person gets involved with. If you agree with me, everybody has to at least do something one time in whatever that they consider themselves wanting to do. I don't care if that's work or job. You have to do something one time, at least. I don't care if you got involved of a pyramid scheme. You had to do something at least one time. I don't care if you got involved with a rug pull or an exit scam company or MLM or affiliate marketing or network marketing, or if you work 2, 3, 4 jobs. You had to at least do something, what? One time. Folks, these guys have only done something one time. And as this thing replicates and duplicates forward, folks, everyone's just simply rinsing and repeating. Do you guys see what's happening to everybody? Are you guys seeing what's cooperatively happening to everyone, ladies and gentlemen? You guys are seeing why I can't shut up about this thing. I literally, I mean, no pun intended. It's insane to see somebody look at this and not do it. Where you can even come together as families. with your mom, dad, brother, uncles, aunts, cousins, doesn't matter. Build your own family bank. Your family, if they ever get involved in anything, they would have to at least do something one time. What's the one-time thing everyone's doing? Everyone's at least inviting, at minimum, 3 others to connect to the technology along with themselves. Everyone does that. And as that happens, folks, the technology, our smart contract, it's programmed and embedded to do 99.99% of the escalation and circulation of the passive income on what? Autopilot. Folks, the income escalator success is to all. You're not just seeing you scale, you're seeing your partner scale, their partner scale, their partners, their partners, their partners, their partners, and these guys have just learned about it, just been invited. But guess what? It never gets to any of these people until you do your part. That you're only required to do one time. So folks, if you're one of those friends or people that, well, I'm not gonna get involved until, I discover 3 others, folks, just go get a job, okay? Because think about it. If everybody thought like that and did what you did, well, guess what? What if they said, well, I'm not gonna get started until, and then this person said, I'm not gonna get started until, I'm not gonna get started until, I'm not gonna get started until, I'm not gonna get, folks, guess what? Because the leader doesn't have belief, that's probably why it's been sort of difficult for you over the course of life to find, to attract others that want to become successful with you. Because everybody buys belief. See, folks, when you connect, you immediately get the belief. Why? Because your inviter instantly receives. And we try to be a part of things without the belief. I get it, we've been scammed. I get it, we're too much in the CNN, the constant negative news. Okay? But folks, this performs as advertised. And if it didn't, I would be lying. So one last thing I want to share, okay? Because I like for people to really, 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 get what's going on here. So I thought I had it open here. I guess I don't. Well, I'll just keep it there, guys. But I think you guys have seen enough content. But oh yeah, I want to share a network effect. Okay, network effect. Okay, here's network effect. You can Google this yourself, folks. So you look at this: a phenomenon whereby a product or service gains additional value as more people use it. Have you guys heard anything about a return on investment? No, that's a Ponzi. We're not that. See, this is giving a visual demonstration of a network effect. See, first it starts off as a few people being a part of it, participants, revenue sharing owners. Then, guess what? Because of our duplicatable system of everybody inviting 3 minimum to connect, it grows to then what? But as it grows in participation, is it also growing in value? Yes. Is it also growing in revenue? Yes. As it then grows to millions, to tens of millions, to hundreds of millions. Listen to this. As the participation grows to millions, is the value of the network growing? Yes. Is that value only benefiting you and not Douglas? No. Is it benefiting you and Douglas and not everybody else? No. Folks, if the value increases, it's just not increasing for the company. It's increasing for all participants that are involved. But guess what also is increasing? The revenue. Does the revenue just increase for Douglas? No. Does it just increase for Lee Smith? No. Does it just increase for Joyce? No. Does it just increase for Juliana? No. Does it increase for everyone all along the way? Yes, 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 ladies and gentlemen. So, That's going to be it. Like I said, guys, you guys are more than welcome to invite your partners, those you know, love, and care about, your colleagues, business associates, whomever, okay? Bring them into our Facebook community. We understand. We also have Telegram community as well. If you want to get the link to our Telegram community, the person that invited you can send you the link on that, okay? We keep this as a safe place. We don't allow any other solicitation of any other business, project, or concept. It's about everything about what we do. Now, if you haven't had the opportunity to see a full overview, okay, that's part of our system. Let's not come in and go rogue, folks. We are system dependent. Let me just share that with you here. And that'll be the last thing, I promise. But I did forget to do that. So this is our system here, okay? So this is our Facebook community, right? This is the Facebook community that you guys are a part of, okay? All right? And you guys are more than welcome to tour around, take tours. We can tag you to different things that you can watch. Also, I have let me share this with you too. Yeah, I'm still sharing the screen, right? Yeah. I even have my own Facebook community, okay? I have close to 500 videos of content here. So you're more than welcome to go to my Facebook community, look at as many videos as you like to, because I can't shut up about this thing, okay? I can't, right? When you've been in the people-to-people space as long as I have, and you've seen it all, you've been a part of most of it. I've been in the rug pulls. I've been in the trading programs. I've been in high ticket. I've been an affiliate marketer. I've done all of that. Did mighty well. Lost money in a lot of these rug pull programs until I really learned my lesson and came to a resolve, okay, that even with those with all good intentions, they can't dictate the market because the market is volatile. And if they're promising you a 3%, but the market is only saying we can only pay you 0.5%, well, where are they going to continue to get the money, okay, to cover the 3% that they promise? Well, they have to go into the company's money at some point. How long are they going to be able to continue to do that until the company does what? Shut down. But hey, some people like being in that space because they go from one rug pull deal to another rug pull deal. The only problem is that they're inviting others to be casualties just so they can get some money in a referral type business. But folks, it always tickles the itching ear of those that want to hear you can make money but not talk to anybody. Folks, that's smoke and mirrors. Because our greatest asset, you ever wonder why those people get a part of these marketing deals, these trading deals, and they're doing all types of YouTube videos? Because they want to, bring people in without necessarily, inviting, because they just want to make that money because they know it's going to crash out and they're moving on to another program and they're creating more videos on that. Folks, if it says anything about a return on investment and it's not you doing the trading, or you have a close connection that you know that they're really trading, okay? Because even the greatest of the greatest traders can't guarantee you a percentage. You would think people like Warren Buffett, Bill Gates, Mark Zuckerberg, Jeff Bezos, if they were here, hey, you put in $300, we're going to make you 260% in a day or a week. Folks, if they're not getting involved with it, why should we? But ask Jeff Bezos, does he know about the network effect? Yeah, he does, because Amazon grew through network effect. Ask Mark Zuckerberg, the owner of PayPal, the owner of Facebook, the owner of Instagram, if he knows about network effect. Of course he does. That's how the social media platform grew. Ask Travis Kalanick, the owner of Uber, if he knows about network effect. Of course, because that's how Uber was built. It's network effect, ladies and gentlemen. Not pie in the sky. Not hype. Not you can make a whole lot of money and don't have to talk to nobody. Okay? So I just give the truth here. Hopefully you guys can appreciate the truth. Okay? I don't, blow smoke up people's you know what. Anyway. Okay, so yeah, so that's what I wanted to share with you there. So I'm back. Get back in contact with the person that invited you, folks. Get yourself in front of a live presentation if you haven't seen one. If you have, let's get yourself connected. I believe this content can bring you to enough confidence, and you're more than welcome to tag, invite your people to the community, tag, get yourself the link to our Telegram community so you can come into our community and get connected with our global partners there. My name is Douglas Ford. Again, coming to you out of my home here out of Houston, Texas. It is always a pleasing pleasure to bring you this value and bring you this content. And as we have to conclude, every time we come together, ladies and gentlemen, we just don't want to see you at the top. We look forward to seeing each and every last one of you, all your business friends, colleagues, those you know, love and care about, family as well. Okay? We want to see each and every one of you scale an ongoing, cooperative, residual, perpetual cash flow, because we scale together, going up this escalator, and we definitely want to see each and every one of you way, way, way over the top. Take care. God bless. Look forward to working with you as well.